Welcome back to Amateur Game Review. Sorry, it has been a while. We went on a bit of a hiatus there for a bit.
How was your cruise, by the way?
Absolutely amazing. You know why?
Why?
I spent every minute that I wasn't out on a beach playing Triangle Strategy. So it was absolutely amazing, and we are going to talk about it. We are doing things a little bit differently today. Randy actually didn't play the game, so good or bad, usually, you come here for some bickering back and forth. I hate that because his opinion sucks. I don't have to listen to it today. He's just gonna ask me some questions. I'm gonna tell you basically why you should play this game. So I say we just jump into it.
Well, we picked two games. He played one, I played the other.
Yeah.
And we're going to ask each other questions about the other one. So after this video, you get to see the other one.
Oh, we picked two games recently. We were both supposed to play Triangle Strategy. Someone played 10 minutes of it and was like, fuck this. So, all right, first thing before we get into it, you saw the title. This is absolutely no spoilers. I'm not going to be talking about the story at all. I will touch on some of the characters and stuff because not actual individual characters, but just overall
Mechanics and stuff
yeah. And just whether or not, because that is some positives and negatives of the game, but I'm not even going to tell you whether or not the story was good or bad.
That's up to you.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it at all. This game is very story-driven, and talking about the story at all would defeat the purpose of a review.
Alright, so if you want me to ask questions about it, because I didn't play it. Oh my god.
Yeah, sure, that's what we're going to do.
What would you say this game's biggest strength is? What makes it interesting? What would draw people in to play this game? Because when I look at it, I see Octopath Traveler.
Okay, let's compare to Octopath Traveler, because
Yeah.
it's the same company, I think it's the same director even, and same sort of genre. Tactical.
Same graphics.
Same graphics, yeah. I mean, same style graphics. The graphics of this are actually better, I think.
Think so?
I think this is the best looking water I've ever seen in a video game.
I liked Octopath Traveler's battle system.
Mm-hmm.
I hated the game.
This game is, to tactical RPGs, what Octopath Traveler should have been to traditional turn-based JRPGs. I was so excited about Octopath Traveler, and it kind of fell on its face.
Yeah.
And most of that was because I didn't care about the story or the characters or any of that.
It's so generic.
This game isn't generic.
Yeah.
This is beautiful, just like Octopath was, maybe even more beautiful, same art style, but the gameplay is absolutely it's so strategic, and every move matters.
Yeah.
The actual combat of this game is spectacular. If you love turn-based RPGs, you will love this battle system. It doesn't, what's the break the mold or reinvent the wheel or any of that.
Break the wheel?
Yeah, break the wheel. It doesn't break the wheel. It just takes everything that's good about tactical RPGs and just kind of nails it.
That's very old school. You could compare it to Final Fantasy Tactics.
No, I mean, you absolutely could. It's right there.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Because they nail it. The only thing I would say battle-wise that they do differently is that you keep your experience even if you lose the level.
There's no game over.
No, you can just redo a battle, but any experience you gained in the battle, even if all your characters die, you keep that experience, and that makes it sound like an easy mode.
Yes.
Here's why it's not. The battles are super, super, super hard, because they know that you can just keep failing, so they play into that. Some of the battles are really hard, especially if you're playing on hard mode, especially if you're New Game Plus, which we'll get into.
Obviously, there's levels. You level your characters up. Mm-hmm. And there's really no diversity. You have your players, and they're that character. A knight's going to be a knight no matter what. There's really no skills you can pick. An archer's going to be an archer, a mage is going to be a mage. Correct?
Yeah, correct. Well, just, every character is already a set class. Yes. There's no, it's not like a job system where you can change what they are. But, I mean, that's fine. It's like if you want someone to be a mage, just pick the mage. You don't have to grab a squire and train them to be a mage. They're already that.
Yeah.
But the diversity comes in that you have, I can't remember how many characters there are. Yes, you can only have a certain amount of members per battle. It fluctuates on the map, but I think 15 is the highest I've had in a single battle, which is a lot. But you still have to leave people out every time.
Has there been a situation where you're wanting to do a battle and you're like, man, I wish I'd have leveled this person up by now?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There's been times you'll go in and you'll see the terrain and you're like, oh man, I have to have someone who can fly, or I have to have an archer, or you see a really tight corridors and you're like, oh, I already know what I'm going to do. Grab a bunch of tanks, just clutter the hallway and...
actual tanks?
Oh yeah, tanks. No, characters that are tanks. I mean, it's got your typical, damage, tank, support kind of classes. I fucking hate Randy. Hasn't even played this game. He's pissing me off.
So with that being said, is it pretty much you're either leveled enough to beat the battle or you're not?
No, absolutely not. And you can attest to this because you did play right before we started fighting. He should have known I'd throw this in there because he sucks. He was getting his butt kicked, and he's like, this this one's lost. I've lost. And he still had like 4 or 5 characters left. I took those characters and I still pulled out a win. And he was like, he's like, did you really beat that? And I was like, yeah, I'm way better than you. He kept saying, this shaman character's stupid. Then I killed 3 people in 1 attack. Because it's all about positioning and stuff.
There's a lot of nuance in this game.
There is. There's a lot of like back attacks and different, like, if you can get an enemy in between 2 characters, they can both attack in 1 turn. And that kind of thing.
Knowing what attacks each person has and the range on each attack has a lot to do with it. You can't just go in blind not knowing anything, and especially into the game.
The biggest thing on this game, honestly, with the combat is knowing what characters work well together.
Yeah.
So that you can get 2 complementary characters or even 3 battling next to each other.
Yeah.
And, their attacks will stack and stuff.
Okay, so we talked about battle quite a bit.
And that's 50% of this game. Actually, it's probably less. 90% of this game is voice acting and reading.
Yeah, that was my next question. Can you turn the voice acting off? Because the little bit I watched you play, I've noticed that I was reading faster than they were talking. And it's like, okay, I need to turn that off right now.
That is aggravating. But I will say that for the most part, the voice acting is really good. So there were times when I had headphones in.
But there's so much of it that I want to get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's if you don't like exposition, this game will turn you off a little bit because half of the gameplay is talking and making decisions.
Which is fine, but if I can turn the voices off, but me still read, then just make it go quicker. You know what I'm saying?
You should watch like an actual professional review if you want to know that, because I don't know the answer.
I thought you played this game.
I did, but I didn't try to turn it off. I left it on. Like, you can, if you hit A, their voice will go away. You can just read it. So like, I would just double tap A, read it real quick.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I was actually just listening to it.
Pointless dialogue was it?
There wasn't a lot of pointless dialogue. And this is you're gonna say something about it, but it honestly reminds me of Game of Thrones. Even the little sentences that they say in between stuff can mean stuff later, because you do have to like understand the characters and stuff. Because, okay, we'll get into this part. It has a decision-making system.
Yeah.
Like, you think, oh man, there's a lot of games that have decision-makings, like just pick this path or pick this path. It's not like that in this. You actually have to convince the members of your party which path to take, and they vote on it. And
but you have to have the knowledge to persuade them.
not just the knowledge. Like, for instance, you'll be talking to someone and they'll be like, I want to do this, and you want them to do something else. Maybe there's 4 options for you to talk to them about, and some of them are grayed out because you didn't learn that information when you were exploring around. Or even if you did learn the information, that might not be the right answer. You have to know each individual character, because
Because it's not black and white.
It's not at all. And there's times that there's three options that you can go down.
Yeah.
And some characters have already made up their mind, and you can't
Persuade them.
Yeah. There was one that actually right before we started recording, there were 3 options, and I was trying to pick between 2 options on which one I wanted to try to convince everyone. I didn't convince them, and they picked the 3rd option that I didn't want to do at all.
Yeah.
Which ended up being a really cool battle.
It was cool. Okay, so when I did try to play this game initially, it's very slow to get started.
Yeah.
Very slow. And there is a lot of dialogue, but after seeing, knowing more about it now, it's necessary. Because there's a lot of games where your decisions don't matter. You can say whatever, this is still going to happen. Or it's very just one way or the other. It's either good path or bad path.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
like Paragon and Renegade.
Yeah. And it's like, okay. But with this, there's so many different options. The backstory does matter, so it's like...
Yeah.
When I first started playing it, I was like, this is stupid. But then, after I seen what it led to, I was like, okay, like,
yeah,
I get it now.
For instance, the very first decision isn't a good or bad situation. No. It's not like a, let's do this. It's just a, hey, what path do we want to go first? And just
based off simple.
Yeah, and just based off of that path, you get one character, you get another for the whole game. You don't get the other character.
Yeah.
But and that leads me into another thing. As soon as you finish this game, your characters and your levels you can continue, and you just start right back from the beginning. Harder enemies, the characters you still already have. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
New Game Plus on this is a New Game Plus, like an actual New Game Plus.
Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to, because, like he said, there's no good or bad decisions, so you immediately want to go back through and check out the other decisions. The problem with that is there's like 100 of them, so you'll have to play it a couple times to check them all out.
And it's not as easy as just picking this option and get there. It's like shit builds up.
Yeah. One cool thing is the whole time you're playing, even from the beginning, it shows you, like, in this chapter there's a split and you went this way or this way.
Yeah.
Like, so you do know, like, you can keep track of that, and the next time you go through, you can change what you did. There's a lot of splits, but there's only 4 endings. in this
Really?
one. Yeah, there's only 4 endings.
I thought there'd be more than that.
Which I'm okay with, because a lot, like, games that have, like, 11 endings, a lot of them are similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like they're completely different endings, but, no, it's really cool. Honestly...
So Elden Ring.
Okay, any game... Okay, anyway. Any game is no Elden Ring. Honestly, this game could be summed up like this. It's easier to say what's wrong with this game, and there's only, like, 3 things.
Alright, well...
Worst name I've ever heard
Yes.
in my entire life. Triangle strategy, that does not...
No.
Like, it doesn't make me want to play this game.
No.
It didn't make me want to look it up. Nothing. Worst name I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
It is very slow to start.
Yes.
I had a hard time, and I really think that my wife would enjoy this game, and I actually talked her into playing it with me when I first got it. No, she made it through the first battle, and she was like, this does not interest me at all.
Yeah.
And then when we were on the cruise, I would like be like, oh, someone just
She'll
happened. Yeah. And she's like,
It's too late.
she's like, I don't even know who that is. Yeah, you bailed. So, and then the third thing is, this isn't a spoiler to the story, but it is talking about the characters. Anyone who's in your party is just like solid gold.
Oh yeah, they're all Ned Starks.
They're perfect way to explain them. They're like the purest of intentions. Even when you pick bad things, they're trying to do it for a good reason.
Yeah.
And because of it, it's like, I don't really... They're good characters.
Nah.
But no, I think they're good characters.
Yeah.
Like, I really like some of them I hate.
Yeah.
There's one character in particular
Benedict.
on my team. Oh, don't let them make up their own mind. But Benedict sucks. The asshole is always right. Like,
Is he?
yeah, he just wants to do what is best for the party, but he doesn't care if that's good or bad. Like,
Well, you just said everyone else is good, so he's doing bad things.
yeah, but he still has like a pure intentions. Like, I mean, like they don't have like a lot of depth to them. They're all pure intention characters.
There's
However,
no,
the bad guys,
There's no moral hierarchy,
no, they're
moral
all
dilemmas.
yeah. Well, not to them, but there is in your decision making. But like the characters wise, like even if you're making a bad decision, they're trying to do it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
They're all goody two shoes basically. But the enemies aren't like that.
Enemies are way cooler.
Yes, and there's a lot of side quests in this game, is what they call them, but they're
Yeah.
not. They're just cutscenes where you can see what some of the enemies are doing.
I thought that was a negative. No side quests, no like emerald weapon to go beat somewhere.
Yeah, there isn't anything
No
like that.
super boss, you know.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. But what those side quests do is they're just cutscenes that like show you what some of the enemies are doing while you're not there, and you get insight into why they're making decisions and stuff. And they are very deep characters. Like
Yeah.
you can see some of them have different motivations, family, power, that kind of thing. And sometimes you'll be watching them and you're like, oh, I actually think I should ally with that person, and they're doing that stuff for bad reasons, and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to stay away from them.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. But I think that's basically it. That basically sums up this game without spoiling it.
Without spoiling, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, battle system, story, characters.
Graphics. It looks really good. If you like retro 8-bit style graphics, I think it looks amazing.
I mean, yeah, it's probably got the best 8-bit graphics I've ever seen in my life.
No one cares what you think about graphics. Anyway, so we can just wrap it up.
Yeah.
I basically talked about everything I thought, so I don't need to wrap up my opinions.
Yeah.
I'll just give it a grade, and I honestly think that this is an A for a game. A tactical RPG, this might be one of the best tactical RPGs of all time. Put it up there with Fire Emblem, Final Fantasy Tactics. This is...
Really?
Yes, it is absolutely an amazing game. If you are into that genre, you need to play this. That's basically all I have to say.
Yeah.
You want to tell them bye?
I can't grade it because I didn't play it.
Yeah, well, that's a good positive for me. I love editing this back. I'll be able to just listen to me talk, and I love listening to me talk. But,
Okay.
you want to wrap it up?
Nope, go ahead.
You want to wrap it up?
Nope. Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'll wrap it up. Zach, why don't you just tell him what to do?
That's not you wrapping it up. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, which you probably did, because Randy didn't bitch about much, there wasn't much for him to say, then give us a like, subscribe, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Really keep up with what we're doing and stuff like that. You know, we're still a small channel, but we're actually starting to grow. We're not very far from 1,000.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know.
Famous.
God, once we start making, like, you know, actual YouTube money, ooh, God, you won't be able to deal with me. Anyway, yeah, that's all we got. So we will see you in the next video, which we are about to record in 3, 2...
So, yes, it has been a while. You did go on a cruise. Now, I told Zach I was going to do a video while he was gone. That didn't happen.
Lazy fuck.
He wanted to do a video before he left, but I knew if we did that, every time he got Wi-Fi, He's gonna be changing thumbnails and checking analytics and replying to comments. I didn't want to worry about
That's
the channel.
what I do. I love it.
I didn't want to. He's on vacation, so I was like, listen, don't worry about that. I got the channel on. I just didn't do anything.
I got back in service and I was like, Randy didn't put up shit.